Hey everyone, Jim T. Graham and Jason Cole.
What's up, everybody?
At the historic Edwin Warner Field, founded around 1928 or so.
Yeah, it's been here a while.
It's a historic field, as I just said. We're here today with the Promoto MX ×2, and
these are not airplanes.
yeah, we're not flying.
We're at the airfield, but we are going to get some air. You'll see that later.
I have been, so the thing, when somebody sends us something, and first let me say, Jason, I get excited about certain things, but I have not been as excited in a long time as I was about getting this motorcycle.
Yeah, well, we're mostly air guys, right? So when's the last time an air guy's gotten excited about something that stays on the ground mostly?
And so when this came out, I was talking to Jason at Horizon, and here they are. And the other part of reviewing stuff is you really want to know it before you talk about it, because there's kind of an inherent goal of getting the review out, but really what you want to do is wear it out and then tell everyone how it went.
You got to get some stick time, as we say.
So with that being said, let's talk about a few things that people are always blown away about when I show up with this. And there's another video that will be in this video of people that I've met on the street, people I've met at this field, people I've met out in the countryside, and I would get the motorcycle out and say, you should ride this. And here's some of the stuff, and feel free to jump in at any moment. First, the real chain that actually works, drives the bike, and also stretches. So at some point you'll have to push your tire or your whole mechanism back to tighten it up. And one day you may have to get, well, a new chain, but you also have to lube it. It's like a real motorcycle.
Yeah. And on the front here, this looks, I'll show you, we may throw in a picture of my disc brake for my mountain bike, but this is actual disc brake like a mountain bike or motorcycle, dirt bike would have, but I mean, it's functional. It's not just there for looks.
So there's a servo that's running the brake arm, and it's exactly like on your car or your motorcycle. Well, more like your motorcycle. And what else, Jason?
Full suspension. So it's got really nice damping to the suspension, front and rear. So you can actually, like, it's not fragile. It's like made to hit jumps, and guys will run these on 8-scale RC, racetracks, and you can hit the jumps, and you can actually control it with the throttle in the air to make your landings properly. But it's designed for off-road and to do the jumping and playing around that way.
And the controller is not in my hand, but there's three, I call them gears, first gear, second gear, and third gear, but they're not gears. They're number one is for learning how to drive the bike. Everything's nice and docile and easy. Number two is for when you are off-road on a track doing jumps and stuff. You don't want to do a jump and then completely wheelie out of the jump and flip over. It'll kind of maintain altitude, although you can get a wheelie going if you're on a flat surface and hit the throttle.
Yeah.
And third is the wheelie mode, which is what I tend to drive it around in all the time. What mode do you drive?
I pretty much drive in wheelie mode. And the other two modes, they have what they call wheelie suppression.
Yes.
Right? So if you're in the on-road mode, they're really designed to not lift the front. So it'll regulate the throttle with the gyro and the whole system working together to not lift the front wheel as much. You might see it kind of do, but it'll slam it back down so you can stay on the road and go faster. Then dirt mode, it'll do a little bit of wheelie, but it's designed for that kind of traction control for off the road. And then the wheelie mode, like I said, that's where I live most of the time too, because you just give it throttle. It's not like you have to like finesse it and find the balance point like you do riding a real bike. This just does it automatically for you. You just hit the throttle and it pops and just goes, and it's so cool.
It blows everyone away. So let's talk about the controller for a moment. These modes are found right here on this toggle switch, and it'll beep and let you know 1 beep, 2 beep, 3 beep where you are. Another interesting thing on the controller is this rear knob. If you're in a wheelie mode, this will actually allow you to wheelie at different levels. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
So you could turn this up and get a full straight up and down wheelie all the way back on the back fender, or modulate it with this knob to bring it down a little bit. Cool. What else?
Super interesting is it's got a flywheel, and you must turn this on before you start driving it. And when you turn it on, maybe we'll get some audio of it.
Battery might help things.
I love all the future noises.
Three, 2. Blast off.
But it starts spooling up like a jet engine or something. It's wild sounding, and people like get a kick out of seeing that.
It's also a crowd pleaser. And so everyone will ask, how does this thing stay up? And if you were to have the gyro, about 30 seconds it takes for the gyro to kick in. If the gyro was on and I grabbed this thing by the legs and I started moving it, you could feel the gyro pulling it back to center. And the gyro lives right here in this big area. So think of a top that's, I would love to see it in operation.
It's basically a giant heavy metal flywheel.
Right here. And then it also has AS3X, so the gyro that you're used to and all your horizon planes is in this motorcycle as well. This is the pinnacle of RC motorcycles.
And the other thing that freaks people out is the steering.
Yeah.
It's counterintuitive for what you might think. So when you turn the steering wheel right, you would think the wheel would go right and it would turn right, but the steering wheel actually goes left. It's not backwards. It's supposed to be that way. It throws the weight to the right and makes it turn right. It's just how it works.
So when I used to ride full-scale bikes full-time, and I would try to explain counter-steering.
Yeah.
So when you're really cranking it in a corner, you'd push out to go this way. And no one could wrap their head around it who had not ridden a motorcycle. So the fact that these, I mean, it makes total sense, but it's still mind-blowing that this operates exactly like a full-scale bike. And I had full-scale, full-time motorcycle rider drive this, never driven an RC vehicle before, and we'll get his thoughts on this compared to the real thing.
And the only other thing I would say is, just like you would expect for any radio-controlled ground vehicle, there is just an array of hop-up parts, metal, you can customize colors, the plastics, the fenders,
Stickers,
all kinds of stuff. You can even change, so this isn't the original outfit my rider came with. It matches yours, but I had had some crashes and tumbles and had torn up the shirt, so I replaced his outfit. So you can change that up and just go with the color scheme that you like. And then I've actually got a metal upgrade part right here. I've actually broke this piece on the front and replaced it with metal.
And I have an extra one in my kit for when I actually do this. There's videos coming up of, I gave this to a little kid to drive. Don't do that if it's yours. I don't know what I was thinking, but we'll see him go full ham on this thing and launch it off this lip over here in the ball at 42 miles an hour. Wow. I was like, okay, I was asking for it. But I think we've covered all the things that people are blown away by. And oh, how fast does it go? 42 miles an hour. I feel like there's got to be a governor on here just to keep things together.
It's fast, and it's only on 2S. And I've seen people run them on more S.
But I've heard that if you run a 3S, you could smoke your ESC. So
sure, there's hop-up parts. You can change all that stuff out. But yeah, I've seen a 3S run on this sucker, and it gets moving. It's fast on 2S, and people are pretty amazed how quick it is.
I used to be a hop-up guy, now I'm a stock guy. And then it weighs about 9 pounds. So everyone's kind of impressed by the size and the weight. And that is it. This is a show pleaser, a crowd pleaser. So if you're at some event, or if you're just out like at a NASCAR event or any kind of event, and you get this out and just start driving it, I guarantee 30 people are going to crowd around you.
Yeah.
And
we can also talk about these stabilizers we didn't mention. They kind of look goofy on a motorcycle, right? But they serve a good purpose. They are removable and you can run the motorcycle without them. Right. But if you get slow enough and you're in a turn and then the thing just lays over, you can't recover from that. You have to go manually pick it back up. But with these guys, when you're turning, you'll hear them scrape the ground. It kind of just helps it keep it from falling all the way over. And then if you do just come to a complete stop and it lays over, you can just give it gas and it actually will continue driving, so you don't have to go pick it up all the time, and you can adjust the angle that it's at. So it's got some options there. It's fun to play with, but I leave them on because it's just a better experience when you're driving it.
And you might lay it over and think, oh, I've got to go get it, but if you get back on the throttle at just the right time, you usually can get it back up. There was one more thing. Oh, the gyro. So I wanted to know if I could run it without the gyro on.
Okay.
So I did. And at Leaper's Fork at an event there.
Or
the flywheel.
Okay, yeah,
not the gyro.
The stabilizing flywheel.
The flywheel. And I drove around. You could feel that it was off. As long as you kept on the throttle and didn't do any slow maneuvers, you were good. When you got slow, though, it would simply fall over.
Yeah.
So it's possible, but not as much fun. All right, so we're just gonna jet around here at the field. I have more videos coming of people driving these things that have never driven them before, just to get an input. I want to say one more thing that you might find interesting. Every time I got this out and drove it, people would come around, and when I would say, do you want to drive it? They would always say no. Because there's an assumption that I have a skill set. And the minute I put it in their hands and told them to take off, they realized that it didn't take any skill. It was super easy, and I think that might be a barrier to someone deciding whether they want one or not.
Yeah.
So
that you can't have skill and use that, but you get this and you're like, oh, I'm gonna be really good because I know how to drive stuff. But you don't need that. It's so easy to drive. Anybody can do it. But then if you want to be super precise and race them like a lot of guys are doing now, like you do need some skills to do that well.
Hey everyone, Jim T. We are out literally at my airfield in Nashville, Tennessee. The goal in this video for the Promoto is I'm gonna let people drive it. I had a lot of ideas for different videos, but then as I was at events and other places, people would see me ride it or drive it, and then they would say, I don't want to drive it, because I think they were intimidated, like this thing might be hard to drive. And then I would hand them the controls and they would love it. And I thought, that's the video. Let's let a lot of people ride it. All right, everyone, we have Jake up on the sticks, actually on the wheel. Jake, have you ever driven an RC anything before?
Maybe when I was a kid, but I think this is a different level for sure.
Have you ever seen an RC motorcycle before? Go it.
Oh no.
And it'll do fine in tall grass. Sorry. There's been a lot of iterations of RC motorcycles, and like
Wait, get it again. I'm backwards.
Oh, see, that's where RC comes in handy, having your thumbs right. So stand him up and then give it a bunch of throttle. Hit it. So in RC, you've got to learn how to drive away from you, but also towards you. And I'll tell you what David Payne told me: if it's not doing what you want, do the opposite thing. Oh, you're in 3, so you're in high speed. So when you come back at us, straighten it up, then hit the throttle. Oh, not hit the throttle. Ooh. No!
You just see like a fire come on.
I think he did about 4 front flips.
Is he okay?
It's okay! Yay! What do you think about the way it drives?
It drives good.
Is it easier or harder than you thought?
It's easier, a lot easier. I've had army tanks, I've had cars, I've had boats, never a motorcycle. I've had a helicopter.
Helicopters are the hardest. Nowadays they're easier with the gyro, but I'll tell you what, this is a showstopper. Every time you get it out in front of the public, everyone stops what they're doing.
All right.
Hey everyone, we are driving the Promoto with George. All right, George, have you ever driven an RC vehicle before?
This is first time.
Have you ever seen an RC motorcycle?
Clips on
Clips?
YouTube.
So you saw me drive it. Does it drive easier or
Oh, yeah.
harder than you thought?
No, it's fairly easy. It's just getting used with the controls.
Right.
And it's very accurate. It's, I would say, sensitive.
Right.
It doesn't take a lot.
And we can turn that down. You know, you can. I've got it on max. I've got it on 3. We could go down to 2, and that's located right next to your trigger finger, right here. So we could go down, beep this one. All right.
Okay.
That's level 2.
Right.
Now you ride a full-scale motorcycle.
Oh yeah.
Counter steering and all that. Does this thing ride kind of the same?
Pretty much, I would say.
What do you think, Gator? I think everyone has an idea when they see this of what it's going to be. Do you think it's cooler than you thought?
Yes, it's very cool.
Getting down over there. We're at 100% throttle.
So to make a tighter turn, you kind of throttle back a little
Yes.
bit. Okay.
And it does have a brake, but I've only used the brake when I'm headed for something that might break it like a curb.
Yeah.
But you know, maybe the brake is necessary for even tighter maneuvers.
Yeah, I have always saw this thing and said, oh man. But then I saw the price and I go,
Well, everybody is reluctant to, when they see me drive it, I think they think I have some sort of skill. And then I just hand it over and then they realize it's easy.
yeah, it is very easy. Yeah, well, thanks, man.
Yes, sir.
Oh. Yeah, I think I...
She's flown RC about 28 years ago. She's only 23. Oh, you better turn. You better turn.
I'm trying.
You better turn. Keep turning. Hit the throttle. Bring it all the way home.
I'm trying.
You're doing a wheelie. All right.
No.
Oh, you got it. You got it.
Keep going. Keep going.
Fight it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now come to us. Turn right. Yep. Oh, you got it. Keep going.
Yeah. Oh,
You got it. You got it. You got it. You got it. Turn right. Turn right. Now just stay straight. All right. Maeve. Wow. Turn the other way.
I'm learning.
Well, we never saw it again. Okay, while we have Maeve here, Maeve, what'd you think?
That was really fun.
Alright, you go first.
So, I'll give you that. It's probably in first. I'll put you in second.
You have to manually change it?
Uh-huh.
Let's see what we got here. Oh, it's in wheelie mode. That's why it's not pretty good. Are you ready, Maeve?
I'm going.
What's your name?
Zachary.
Everyone, we have Zachary. Zachary is an RC pilot, and he's going to test drive the Promoto MX. Just give it some gas. If you get in trouble, you push the trigger forward and it will brake.
Nice.
He's got it. Oh, let's take this call.
So Zachary, what do you think?
Stand it.
Oh! You landed it!
Got him.
Wait, on.
When he gets it back here, I'll let you drive.
Bring it back, bring it back.
It looks so lifelike. It's so goofy.
That was fun.
If you let me know how to do that.
So you hear that gyro in there? It's spinning.
Yeah.
It's this thing that spins around. And now it turns it on.
Sorry, I'm also doing a little bit.
That's cool. That was a lot more powerful than I thought.
Oh, wait. Let's get a, are you still recording?
Yep.
So Zachary, tell us what you just said. It was cool,
Yeah, it was a lot more powerful than I thought.
right? And it wasn't hard to drive, easy to drive.
It was like difficult, but like I never like did something like that,
Right,
so I wasn't really used to it.
right. It was cool. We've gotten the cool. Thumbs up.
It was fun though. I did tons of flips over it.
So maybe for Christmas,
Maybe.
would be your ask. Really good low speed maneuvers. But then she went into full blast high speed mode and she did a little demolition testing and drove this thing right into a picnic bench at probably it's 42 miles per hour. And I'm very happy to say that he lives. And my question is, how did you like driving the Promoto?
It was really like scary, but really like fun.
Scary, fun, and didn't you say terrifying? Terrifying right before she hit the bench. So that ends our day today with the Promoto, and I want to thank everyone who hung out with us.
If you give it too much gas, it like does a backflip. It's like it has too much power.
Well, that's what the buttons are for. If you go down on that little toggle by your thumb, it'll slow it down.
Oh, okay, so I'm gonna go up.
Is it harder to drive than you thought, or easier?
That's it.
You don't know?
I think honestly it's kind of easier.
Hit it.
I'm terrible with the turns. I don't know how to turn.
Yeah, man, no, you're really good. It goes 42 miles an hour. Just don't hit that big concrete thing, and it'll be over. And now it's gone. Wow!
Oh, no, no,
I think I
no.
got that.
There's been wheelies, crazy jumps. We've been gleaming the cube over here on the bowl, and Ben here seems to be an expert driver in a matter of minutes. So it's a Promoto MX. I love it. I would like to say that when I saw it, I was excited about it. But when I actually got it, I was even more excited. So I've had so many RC items over the past 20 years, it's hard to excite me. I'm watching it before, so I don't break my ankle. But anyway, I love it. I think it's awesome. It's like something to be excited about. I'm Jim Z with RCGroups.com. Battery might help things.
I love all the future noises that come out.
Three, two, blast off. Oh.
Everyone watch your legs. He's not gonna stop till he hits everyone.
Sound like R2D2. You sound like R2D2. Oh.
Is there anything else to do?
Go for it.
We're out here in the field taking turns with the little Promoto. I'm just handing it over and people are able to drive it. This driver has never driven it before. He's seen it, but never driven it. Ooh. We're looking for a ramp. Hey y'all, Jim T. I'm in Leapers Fork, Tennessee with the Promoto MX. However cool you think this thing might be, it's actually cooler because I was really excited to get it and it's done nothing but made me smile. So there's no hips or hips. There's no jumps or whoop-de-doos, but just running around on the grass is awesome. All right, we're out here with Gator and the Promoto MX.
Oh.
He's never driven it before. Pretty wet out here today. So I guess what we're learning is this thing can work in pretty tall grass, pretty rough terrain.
Come by me, Dad. But real close.
I'll get off of it and hand it to them.
Come back again.
I'll stop.
Am I back up to perfect execution?
There's another ball out there. Jeez.